Back to episode 16. Jungkook turned his head to the side and went twisted his body until Taehyung was once again in the line of sight. Hey, that again? Taehyung raised a brow. Did that catch your attention? Jungkook is such a prick. Taehyung replied absently, rubbing the lacy external layer of the dress. The corner of Jungkook's sleeve curled up for a slight second, turning completely back around. The older man walked forward, socks padding gently across the carpet. Did you just see you were wearing a tongue? Jungkook prodded, watching the dark bonnet grin and pushed himself off the door frame. The dress clad casually, swing his arms around the back and swayed on his heels to his feet. Off his feet, satin cherry red, then inevitably closing to step back right as Jungkook reached out for him. But if you like the guy me, I better go change into some Berkshire. Taehyung. Jungkook tried again to grab hold of the beauty, but Taehyung had retreated once again. A playful gleam dancing on his eyes, Taehyung bolted right at Jungkook's. Next moment, running in the bedroom with a large laugh escaped his lips. Jungkook felt his mouth stretch into a smile as he followed, pleased that Taehyung planned to end the chase earlier by jumping on the bed and crawling across it with a hand on the chest to hold the dress properly in place. Taehyung had just enough time to turn back to the bed before Jungkook was storing him, one next hand next to his head while the other curled gently around his side. Was this meant to make me needy? Jungkook asked slowly, bringing his hand resting on Taehyung's side up to his exposed leg. The hand was extremely hot on Taehyung's leg. Well, I did choose the color you seems to love me on me, Taehyung whispered back, hands reaching up to unbutton Jungkook's dress shirt. And since we didn't go all the way last night, Taehyung trailed off. I will take that as a yes, Jungkook grunted, grabbing both up hold of both Taehyung's legs and dragging him forward. Taehyung immediately lifted his hips and wrapping his legs around Jungkook's torso, making the dress slide down more as they were going to take it further more than just teasing. They did it without swiftly, and Jungkook relaxed in Tete. Damn it, I'm sorry I never kissed you. Never asked if I could in you, Jungkook spoke shyly, the familiar blush creeping up across his cheeks. Taehyung smiled against the pillow, pushing his upper half up with his arms to turn his face. His embarrassed companion, I'm actually surprised you are worried about that than the dirty sheets, Taehyung replied to the wonderment. Jungkook took one look at his face and started laughing. What? Your makeup got sorta smooth? Jungkook clenched his lips, tensed as he looked away, only to look back the snicker more. You look like a panda. Taehyung quickly brought a hand up to his face, frowning and glancing around for a mirror. Jungkook shuffled off the bed. Give me a second, I will be back. Right back, Jungkook promised as his way to the bathroom. Taehyung watched and see the dressed man go patiently waiting for Jungkook turn on his back and straightening out the crumbled dress. His thigh felt sticky, so he kept his legs apart, looking completely unlady like he sat on the bed. He smirked at the thought, his head loaded to the right, looking at the clock. 10:47, close to the end of another day. His smirk fell just a bit here. Jungkook said, walking back out of the bathroom, holding what looked like a wet tissue upper in his hand. I'm almost like a hot panda. Taehyung vented playfully when Jungkook sat back down on the bed and looked at the side of Taehyung's face in one hand. Close your eyes, Jungkook instructed, waiting until said task was complete before gently wiping the smooth makeup under Taehyung's eyes. It wasn't anything dreadful but still noticeable. What is your favorite word, isn't it? Might be one of them. I'm glad to hear that, Jungkook. Thanks said with a grin. Jungkook rolled his eyes and flipped the tissue paper over, going to walk underneath the other eyes. He swept his thumb to dry the area before sitting back there. Then opened his eyes. So, what's going to tell the maids about their living these loving distance? Taehyung asked, lying down on the bed with one knee bent to the air. Jungkook couldn't help but flash his eyes back to the where the red silk material could just barely be seen before lying down himself, enjoying the feeling of his heated skin against the cool sheets. I will tell them that I had one heck of a night with my lover. Maybe it will get back to my father. He stared back before he laughed out loud. We both know you would probably die from embarrassment, they said. Yeah, probably, Jungkook admitted. You know, I know a certain maid here that wouldn't say a word. Thanks, asked. What do you do while I'm gone? Making friends with everyone in the hotel? Jungkook asked in disbelief. Only the ones that will came in handy. Thanks said with a wink, suddenly straightening his bent knee and holding it up in the air. She helped me get all dressed up for you tonight. After all, they told. Oh, joy. You loved the tongue and you know it, they said. It's pretty hot, Jungkook muttered, looking elsewhere. Taehyung beamed. Speaking of things hot, Taehyung turning on his side and running a fingertip up and down Jungkook's arm. Look, at you tonight, all assertive and teasing. Jungkook sprouted. Because you never tell me what you want, Jungkook exclaimed in his defense. Taehyung's finger stilled. What I want? Taehyung asked. Typically brown eyes darting from Jungkook's eyes to his lips to his hair and back again, making Jungkook hold his breath in anticipation. The dark brunette leaned down, his lips coasting over Jungkook's jaw until they had a small. Jungkook sat in the office going through his usual routine of papers and calls when Hobie slipped in and shut the door behind him. Hobie walked up to the desk and tossed an envelope on Jungkook's desk. Jungkook raised an eyebrow and questioned, You asked me to do a background check on Kim Taehyung, right? There you go, Hobie said, slipping his hands in his pocket. You... never mind, Jungkook responded, grabbing hold of the envelope and opening it. You didn't think I would. It's that what you were going to say? Hobie asked. Well, you certainly didn't seem keen on the idea, Jungkook said. I'm still not. Still don't know what you are trying to do. Do you hate this company, Jungkook? I wouldn't say hate. Some things definitely need to be changed around here though. Jungkook said, glancing through some of the papers in his file. Alright, you are in a high position. Propose something. We both knew it has to go through my father first. You are his son. I bet he would be thrilled to hear that you are participating more in the company. No, if I want to run and give money to charities or stop him from screwing with others, you don't make profit like that way, Hobie said. I realized this, Jungkook muttered, shaking a particular paper in his hand before standing up. It's almost lunchtime, right? Jungkook asked. I can go get some Hobie offer. No, I'm going out for lunch today, Jungkook interrupted, grabbing his coat and pushing his arm through the sleeves. Going to meet you, Playful. Jungkook stopped in and looked at Hobie, glad, who was put his hands in the mock defense. Hey, I was just asking, Hobie exclaimed, sighing when he glared in. Listen, okay, sorry. It's just weird. The whole town will be all over this if it gets out. Is it really worth that much to make your father angry? He worth it. Replied easily, locking his computer. He worth it. Ruby asked. Yeah, Jungkook said simply. He is going to be gone by the end of the week, right? Hobie asked. Jungkook opened the door at the office, looking over his shoulder. Thanks again for this, Jungkook said, waving the envelope in his ear. Before shutting the door, Hobie frowned. You never said thanks in the past, in first place. Ming and Kim Iseol, these were the two girls' names that Jungkook could only assume were Taehyung's siblings, living at the address provided in the background check as they attended the academy in southern Seoul. Jungkook was actually surprised Taehyung's family lived in the same city his hotel was in. Jungkook had heard of this academy before he decided that he would leave work early and stop by. But first stepping out of the building, he walked in. Jungkook held his call cell on his ear and waited as it rang. Yeah, told you not to answer the phone, Jungkook said with the same word, but I want to hear your cautious voice, the beauty replied. The corner of Jungkook's lips quickened upward. Do you want to go to the show tonight? Jungkook continued. A show? What kind of show? They asked. A musical ever been? Jungkook asked. And those people who yelled, I can sing better than that, they said proudly. Jungkook nodded, thinking of the lovingly singing in the in the bubble bath. Give it a chance. It's more than just singing. It's a play. You will be spending too much time occupied up in that hotel room anyway. Jungkook tried, afraid of me making friends. They can't stop his mouth a little. Jungkook admitted it. Hey, alright, when are you going to pick me up? They asked. 5 BTD. Jungkook said, don't be late. This time, thank teased. It was only a minute. Jungkook stopped upon hearing the dial 1 with the clench and shake his head. Jungkook dropped the phone in his pocket and sat on, waving down a taxi. He didn't want to. Jungkook just hoped it go well. To put it simple, felt like a girl. He wasn't even wearing a dress. He flirted with his collar of the black button down, glancing from the mirror to the other socks he had thrown on the bed. Since when did guys care so much about finding perfect outfit? More especially when did they? But with that thought in mind, he finally hang up the rest of the discarded shirts sitting on the bed. They wondered what he should do. Jungkook didn't specifically tell him to do the lobby this time, did he? Did that mean Jungkook would came to the door like a proper dress suit? Then glancing at that thought, glancing at the phone, he hadn't called me no all day. Not he had received one from Affectionate Burnett. Maybe he was being a good boy and not going all motherly on Taehyung. Or maybe Minho was just too busy with he to care. Maybe Minho was just too busy with he to care. His sheets that better be clean when he got back. Then it ran his fingers over the sheets below him before lying back, softly singing. When he sank into the mattress, he was sure going to miss this bar and the bonnet that came with it. Turned over, lying his face on Jungkook's pillow. His musky accent still lingered, and Taehyung imagined for a moment that he was the same position he had woken up to this morning. Curled up, Taehyung sat up when he heard the door unlock. Getting off the bed, he walked into the main room, already ready to tease his favorite businessman. What he saw was came through that door was not something he would expect even his dream. Taehyung Appa, the shout came from the girl who had been the first to enter the room, her eyes wide behind her tears, with barely contained excitement. Isul ran into the room and nearly made Taehyung fall backward when she tuggled him into a tight hug. A taller girl who greatly resembled Ming stood in the room doorframe with Jungkook. Ming stood in the doorframe with Jungkook, looking shocked with a large smile. Head snickered up to her lips, regardless the tears streaming down. Jungkook stood with his hand on the door, appreciative. He would had quite a day getting these two to come with him. The Israel girl was one of the most livingly and suspicious he would ever met. When he had first approached them, the first thing she claimed was that she didn't have any more slots open for. At that moment, Jungkook had been stunned, but when the girl started walking away, he pressed on through, curious as why the older one being didn't even bother to say a word. She acted like Jungkook wasn't there for the most part, at least until he brought up his brother's name. That had brought out a whole list of accusations from Isul's mouth. Something about Jungkook being a murderer, and if Ming hadn't been reasonable enough to ask Isul to hear him out, Jungkook was pretty sure his plan to get the two would have been failed miserably. Taehyung wouldn't be mad at him for this, would he? Jungkook fidgeted at he watched the stunned Taehyung stare down at his sister's head. It was his parents who gave Taehyung the trouble. His sisters had nothing to do with it. Taehyung had said that himself, and Jungkook knew the feeling of not being able to see your sibling. He wished he could see Namjoon much more often than he did. Taehyung had the chance to get any word out. Isil pulled back from him promptly. She swung her fist and hit the dark burnet square in his chest. Jungkook's jaw dropped as Taehyung backed away, pinching and holding a hold on his damaged rib cage. Stupid Taehyung Oppa, why haven't you came home? Isil yelled, stopping her foot. Is that any way to say hi to your older brother? Taehyung asked, glaring back at her, rubbing his chest. The tension faded from Mrs. body upon hearing the voice she hadn't heard in so long, and with tears springing to her eyes, Taehyung winces again when she particularly dug her forehead into where she had just hit the butt side and hugging her, leaning down to bow his face in her hair. Jungkook sighed with relief. It looked like Taehyung wouldn't mad at him. Jungkook felt a tug on his coat and looked down to see Ming looking up at him. That smile still plays. Thank you, Ming spoke softly before letting her hand drop and walk across the room to join the hug. With a large intake of air, Jungkook walked all the way inside, shutting the door behind him. He slipped off his shoes, not even bothered to mention that don't forget we have to leave for the show in 30 minutes. Did you eat? Jungkook asked, taking off his coat. Taehyung looked up from his sister's hug at a loss. His sisters, who he haven't met in years, were right in front of him in Jungkook's hotel room, and Jungkook was acting like it was absolutely normal thing. Wow, how? Are they coming with us? Asked Jungkook, a little shaken in the best way possible. Of course we are, Isul exclaimed, grabbing hold of his hand. Mr. Burnett over here invited us. Free show and food, she added happily, and then we are going to grill you. Where have you been? What have you been doing? I hope you know I'm not letting you out of my sight until I get my answers, Isul said. I hope you have a good excuse to disappear like that, Ming agreed, holding his hand and giving it a firm excuse. She looked like a little breathless, like she could still barely believe her brother was right there, but her eyes were still kind and worried, glanced with relief. Taehyung tried his best to look nonchalant, but the shock of seeing his sisters had still yet to fade. He looked hesitated as his gaze met Jungkook's. Gus, why don't we eat? Really, Kook, you will have plenty of time to ask him questions after the musical. Now, what are your favorite foods? Jungkook asked, trying to distract his sisters long enough to Taehyung to get a hold on himself. To continue. Think about this reunion and what do you think about this episode? So now I'm going to work this story in a fast way. I will not make it a slow burn, so I hope you will enjoy it. See you again. Bye bye.